Good day, everyone. Welcome to this presentation by Chris Farmer and me, Vishal Bajaj. Before we begin, we want to recognize, as part of our Giants Are Female initiative, Professor Michelle Simmons. She's a pioneer in the field of quantum electronics. He has several accolades to her name, as listed on the screen. She is known for creating the field of atomic electronics and was awarded Australian of the Year 2018 for her work in quantum physics. Now, let's move on.
Yeah, thanks, Vishal. So hello and a warm welcome to everyone tuning into GLA Summit 2022. So this year, Wired in Software was approached by a number of Year 10 high school students, we're talking about 15-year-olds here, to do a week of work experience. At first we thought, yeah, that's going to be a bit of a distraction and probably a challenge to manage, but I said yes anyway. But we decided it'd be really good if we planned a program for them so that they could work together as a group, have some key learning goals and make it a bit of fun at the same time. As a result, they'd get a lot more value out of the experience and not take up too much of our time and resources as well. Thus came about the Pampered Pig, the Wired in Software Work Experience program. We've done it for 2 different groups now this year and received some really positive feedback. I just want to credit Nicholas Dobricic, who just completed 6 months work integrated learning with us. He is the one responsible for putting together the program, and he came up with the Pampered Pig concept. Without further ado, I'm handing it over to Vishal. What is Pampered Pig?
All right, so welcome everyone to Pampered Pig. Pampered Pig is the world's premier guinea pig day spa, playing host only to precious pigs of the most elite clientele. So yeah, Pampered Pig is a guinea pig day spa. And Pampered Pig is facing some issues with their services and have approached us, i.e. Wired In, to help them. They've received multiple complaints from their pompous guinea pig owners that their pets are not being looked after well here. The spa, they say, is sometimes too noisy and too hot, and others complain that there's poor lighting, and that's why it looks shiny. Taking note of all this, Pampered Pig has decided to make an EMS, or an environment monitoring system.
So unfortunately, all the Wired In engineers were flat out, so that's why we needed the work experience to help us put together this system. We had 3 project objectives here. First of all, sample from the following sensors on a continuous basis. We had sound detection, temperature sensors, and light. Secondly, we needed to be able to create a user interface for the staff working at Pampered Pig. They needed to be able to, get real-time updates of what was happening. Third thing was to enable the staff of Pampered Pig, i.e. the CEO. Often you can find him up at Mount Hotham at the ski resort. He needed to be able to tune in remotely and make sure that everyone was doing their jobs well. So that was really important.
All right, so the learning that the learners undertook was divided into this. So this was the schedule they followed. Day 1 was the introduction, which we just had, and there was some learning of LabVIEW. Day 2 was setting up the hardware, where they played around with the Redboard and did all the sensor connections. Day 3 was playing with databases and SQLite. Yep, we made some high school students do databases, and it was fun. Day 4 was Grafana. We'll talk more about that in a bit more detail, but to give you a brief summary, Grafana is, or we are using Grafana as a data visualization tool. And day 5 was verification and demonstration. So, Chris, what do you think? What do you think about this?
It was really important to capture the work experience kids' imagination on day 1 and make it a bit of fun. The system they're building, it's pretty complex for a Year 10 student, so we needed to keep them engaged and make sure they were engaged but also enjoying it.
Yep. Right. So yeah, let's go into details in detail with the project schedule. So day 1, as I said, was introduction to LabVIEW. To kick things off, we gave them a program guide and requirements document. This they were to follow this for all. This was prepared by the Pampered Pig CEO, and given to them as a guide to further their project. Now, instead of giving them long lectures on how on what LabVIEW is and how to use it, etc., they were given an short introduction to LabVIEW by one of our staff, and then we asked them to walk through the LabVIEW Makerhub tutorial series, which is a great series to give an introduction to LabVIEW to students at that level. We also assigned one of our staff members to help them with any doubts they had. So how do you think day one went, Chris?
Yeah, well, none of them had actually really used LabVIEW before. So these Makerhub LabVIEW Basics tutorial series were just a really simple and easy way to get going in LabVIEW. Yeah. The Makerhub website, I should mention, I think it is now no longer being supported, but all these tutorials are still available online at that link.
Okay, yeah. So let's go to day two. Day two was dedicated to setting up the hardware. They were given access to the Sparkfun Redboard kit, as you can see. First, they were asked to go through the Sparkfun Inventors Kit LabVIEW tutorial series.
Makerhub.
On Makerhub, yeah, of course. This would take them through the basics of connecting the Redboard to the various sensors and reading their inputs and writing outputs to them. Then, as the system diagram shows on the right, they were asked to connect the temperature sensor, the TMP36, a sound detector, and a photocell to the Redboard, and to read their outputs and to make a front panel with the same. So, yeah, how do you think that day two went, Chris?
Yeah, so this was pretty new to the kids. Having to play around with breadboards for the first time. They did need a bit of guidance with the connections and things, but I think they really found it enjoyable to have something to get their hands on, look at and play. And basically these tutorials, once again, a great resource to just learn the real basics of putting together an electronic circuit together. And learning the basic electronic things like you're connecting up the thing the wrong way, or wires not going, loose wires, various things. So they were able to troubleshoot, working as pairs, helped each other out a lot, and bring it back onto the LabVIEW screen using the LINX drivers to make the connection from the yesterday. So having the LabVIEW and now bringing the Sparkfun was a really good way to concrete that learning.
Okay. Now day three was all about databases. As an introduction, we directed them to a beginner level video series on SQLite databases. The DB browser for SQLite was used to view the database contents, which it's a very simple yet intuitive tool to interface with databases, to visualize databases. Once they had a feel about databases, we directed them to James Powell's video on using SQLite with LabVIEW. After this, in the second half, they were asked to create their own database and integrate it with their LabVIEW program, according to the requirements set out in the requirements doc. So yeah, that was day three.
Yeah, this is probably one of the most challenging day of the week. I think they found the abstract concepts of a database. Took a while to get their head around that, but and some of the content on YouTube was quite dry. The earlier video on the basics of SQL, I mean. But we challenged them later in the day, and they seemed to impress us with that. That they had sort of soaked in a lot of the information and was making sense. So that was good.
Mm-hmm. So on day 4, we introduced them to Grafana. Grafana is a browser-based software tool that allows you to visualize information. This tool was fairly new to us at Widen itself, but it is gaining popularity and makes excellent visualizations, as you'll see in a minute. Hence, we thought it would be good to let the learners do some art a day after they finish their databases, which, as Chris said, was perceived as being dry and the most difficult part of the project. So here too, we directed them to a video on YouTube on how to set up a dashboard, after which they were tasked to create a dashboard for their own database.
Yeah, look, this was sort of aimed at putting their SQL knowledge from yesterday to work and connecting it with Grafana. But they got a lot of enjoyment out of the creative side of putting together a visualization in Grafana, and I think most of them found this probably one of the most enjoyable parts of the program.
And did a pretty good job at that too. Yeah.
Mm.
So yeah, all right. So day 5. On day 5 was basically the goal was to bring everything they had learned over the last few days and to build almost a product. Initially we asked them to perform some testing and error handling and to ensure that the AMS works. Then we asked them to make a report which would contain a summary of all their daily activities, the key learning takeaways, and the challenges they faced. Some of them also went ahead and put in videos and photos of the testing they had done, which was very interesting. And after all this, in the second half, we asked them to give a live demonstration to the Pampered Pig board, which was all of us here at Widen, and also they had a small Q&A session.
Yeah, the CEO actually caught a chopper back from Mount Hotham just to see it, actually. So yeah, look, this was a fantastic day. It was an opportunity to basically bring it all together and collaborate, consolidate what they'd learned. They had to write this 2-page report, and you know, geez, they were really impressed with that. It gave them a chance to put it all together. They created videos and photos, and you know, really fine-tuned the Grafana side of things, and had a lot of fun to just put together what they'd learned, but you know, still got the job done at the end of the day, which was really impressive. You know, basically the feedback was that they found the week to be really enjoyable, especially compared to what some of their other classmates were doing at other places. So having them work as a pair was really important. They were able to bounce off each other and troubleshoot together and problem solve together. And they sort of only then needed to come to us when, you know, things were pretty tricky. So the whole process seemed to work really well. And it was so impressive to see these kids demonstrating to, you know, my whole Wide-In software team, you know, company, or sorry, the Pampered Pig board, to, you know, show what they'd done, and they spoke about it with gusto and enthusiasm. Yeah. So let's check it out. Let's see it. Let's see if.
Cool. So here we've got a video demonstration of what they've of the product that was built. So here you can see the breadboard and the Redboard connected to it. This is the front panel of
the block diagram.
That's the block diagram. This is the front panel. This is the monitoring screen, and we've got a configuration screen. On the monitoring screen, we've got the temperature, which is in degrees and its graph, the light level, which is just a slider, and then there's the sound level, which has got 3 texts over here. That's quiet, okay, and danger. So let's run it. Once we run it, you know, using the LINX libraries, we set up a connection, and we can see that the temperature sensor started taking readings. So as the light level, we have a temperature of about 22 degrees right now, and light level is around 80 something, which is an arbitrary number. Now that I'm pressing the photo cell, you can see that the light level is going up and down. And right now I will make a big sound which can't be heard, but you should see the sound level go to danger.
So it's currently oh, there it went.
There, yeah,
you see that?
Yeah.
Went to danger.
Yeah. So that's the sound system working, and now we've got a hot iron or something over here that we use for our PCBs, and that was basically used to that blows out hot air, and I use that to get a temperature sensor reading. Just show some variation over there, which should show up in the video in just about a second now.
It's just heating up.
Here we
go.
There it is. That's the tube. So as you see, there's hot air blows on the TMP36, and we see the temperature shoot up to like around 35, 37 to its peak. And now it's all now it's going back down as if removed the heat source.
So this is also capturing data to a database right now.
Yeah,
to an SQLite database.
Yeah, and and then Grafana is reading it from that SQLite database, as you can see. And this is the front panel. This is the viewer visualization that they built. We can see that the temperature is now going back down to its normal level. As I press the photo cell, we can see once again the light level goes up and down. There's a bit of a delay because, you know, it's interfacing with 3 softwares. Now that's that's the database.
This is the database browser for SQLite.
Yeah, this is yeah, exactly. That's the DB browser for SQLite, and we've got the different data over here.
Yeah, so it's coming in real time.
Yep.
Yeah. And that's it, guys. Yeah, so Pampered Pig work experience program. I hope you guys enjoyed that. And that's our presentation. Thank you for having us. Enjoy GLA Summit 2022.